Hi, everybody. This is Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate. It's Monday, September 8th, 2025, and this is an update for the All Hazards Consortium, the sensitive information sharing environment, where we share information across platforms from private sector liaisons in state emergency operations centers to private sector owner and operators in the food, fuel, communications, transportation, logistics, energy sectors, so we can all be on the same page at the same time when it comes to tracking potential disasters and hazards. We are breathing a sigh of relief because Hurricane Kiko in the vicinity of the Hawaiian Islands is passing off to the east. Not a surprise. We've been talking about that for the last couple of days, having the storm pass to the east, and it is really succumbing to wind shear. I'm going to show you what that means. When hurricanes get impacted by wind shear, it disrupts their whole mechanics, their whole dynamics. Hurricanes like to have a stacked system, so you can have an eye, you can see right down through to the ocean. And when that tube gets tilted, that vortex, all bets are off when it comes to strengthening. And you can see right now that Kiko doesn't have a whole lot of thunderstorms around it. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you a couple of satellite images. I'm going to take you over and show you a webcam from the FAA looking off to the east and the northeast from the Big Island of Hawaii. I'm going to show you Waikiki Beach and how everyone's faring there right now. And we'll try to put all this into perspective and dive right into an IUS region, Integrated Ocean Observing System region called PAC IUS, Pacific IUS, where they have put buoys out, wave buoys around Hawaii. So we're going to go check out some of those wave heights too. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is take this full screen because you notice in the lower left-hand portion of this image here, you can see the Big Island of Hawaii. Here we are. This is the Big Island of Hawaii right here. And this is the center of Kiko right in here. You can see this kind of swirl. That's not the center. You can see it's tilted. It's tilted. Look at the fast swirling low-level clouds down here. So the center is somewhere around in here, while the mid-level center is somewhere over here. But I want to show you what else we can do with satellite imagery. This is from the GOES satellite, NOAA's GOES high-resolution satellite. It goes west, so it can really focus on Hawaii and Guam and also Alaska and California. But I'm going to enhance this with the sandwich product. And that sandwich product takes infrared temperatures so we can highlight where the thunderstorms are. So here we go. This is the sandwich product, and look where the enhancement is. Way far away here from the center of the storm, way over here. And that's exactly what the Air Force 53rd Weather Squadron Hurricane Hunters found, is that the peak winds about flight level was about 75 knots, 75 to 80 knots in the northeastern quadrant. That's because this area right here is where the heaviest storms are. And the low-level center is almost exposed here to the southwest. So what does this mean? It means that we have mid-level winds that are blowing this way, and it's blowing the tops off these thunderstorms. And that's why we see the higher clouds drifting there to the northeast, because we have a southwesterly wind shear going on. Well, look at the low-level clouds. These are cumulus clouds, stratocumulus clouds, mostly cumulus, moving to the west towards the Big Island of Hawaii, and they are showing up a little bit on an FAA webcam. I'll show you that in just a second. But you can see these clouds are pushing towards the Big Island, and the other islands of the Hawaiian chain are off here, off the screen, off this particular sector. Let me widen out and show you what it looks like. But this enhancement here really tells us a lot. Remember the other day when we saw the enhancement, the sandwich product, we could see the eye, we could see that circulation, those thunderstorms bubbling up around the eye. That was a mature hurricane. And let's widen out here now. So here's what we have. Let's see. Hawaii is at the top of the screen. I'm going to reset that. Hold on for 1 second. There we go. I just reset the sector a little bit, and now we have placed Hawaii right in the middle. So here's the entire Hawaiian island chain right in here, and you can see Kiko off here to the east, and it's going to follow a path similar to this. As a matter of fact, look at this low pressure system here. It's part of a trough of low pressure. Kiko is basically going to follow it. Hurricanes and tropical systems like to follow the path of least resistance, and this trough is the path of least resistance. But the wind field is diminishing. Hurricane force winds are going to disappear pretty soon, maybe as early as the 5 p.m. advisory in Hawaii this evening, which is going to be 11 o'clock Eastern time. So that's in about an hour and a half. We may not have a hurricane, maybe have a minimal hurricane, 75 miles per hour. But then after that, it should go down to a tropical storm, which is all great news. So it doesn't look like we're going to be getting the heavy rains in Hawaii. We might get where certain sea breezes kick up and converge. We might get localized heavy downpours. Many of you have contacted me today and said it is really humid here in Hawaii, and we talked about that. Remember what we said about that humidity? This is what I'm talking about, and this is the blended or total precipitable water from NOAA, and this is really incredible. Check it out. So this is Kiko. Right in here where my pen is, you can see it swirling around. We're seeing a real battle going on here, and it's meteorologically pretty impressive. All this blue area is dry air. Look at that dry air trying to punch in, but there's also dry air to the west of Kiko, and it's a battle. This air mass, this dry air, is trying to squeeze and evaporate that moisture from Kiko, and that is hopefully why we won't get any flooding rains in any of the Hawaiian Islands as Kiko comes by, because the amount of moisture is decreasing through this entire column here. Although you can see on the Big Island, yep, you felt it today. You felt that humidity coming in around midnight last night into early this morning, and that's going to spread across the island. So it is going to get more humid. You are going to probably see more cumulus clouds, showers, and things like that, because when the sun rises and heats the land, it's going to be unstable. So you will get those cumulus clouds, you will get those showers, maybe some scattered thunderstorms, but it doesn't look like we'll get any widespread flash flooding events, that's for sure. And so you can see this area of moisture that's kind of drying up. The part where it's really moist is going to remain offshore, and that's because Kiko is taking this path here and is going to go right over this way and then dissipate as a tropical depression. And we're all thankful for that, although we do realize that Hawaii needs the rain. We know it. You need a good soaking day or two of rain. I know visitors that go to the beautiful islands don't want the rain, but you really do need it, because lawns, grass, trees, they're starting to dry up. But Kiko will try to provide you with some moisture here. That is high humidity that you can see moving right towards you in the Hawaiian Islands. Focusing in on GeoCollaborate, I want to show you the probability of tropical storm force winds, and look at this. None of the tropical storm force wind probabilities impact any of the islands anymore. So that is great news. I'll zoom in here and show you. Here is Honolulu right here on Oahu, and all the way up here on the upper left-hand corner, this is Oahu, and then right up here is Kauai. And right off here is Puai, right in here. But none of the tropical storm force wind probabilities are impacting the islands now, so you can pretty much breathe a sigh of relief. These are sustained tropical storm force winds. There could be localized rain showers that maybe bring down some gustiness, but I don't really see that getting above 20, 25 miles per hour, really, if you get any storms in and around the Big Island or Oahu here. So this is where the storm is. This is the radius of maximum winds, hurricane force winds. Now, this was actually as of their advisory at 11 o'clock this morning, Hawaii time. So we have some time that has progressed since then, and this wind field has likely decreased in size. We'll see with the 11 o'clock update. Tropical storm force winds are highly likely right in the path, of course. So the seas there, anywhere from 15 to 20 feet. But those size waves are not going to make it to the Hawaiian Islands. But we may see decent swells of 10 to 15 feet in some areas. And this is over the next couple of days. These swells are going to be building because look here. I'll click this. This is the forecast, 12 hours, which is 8 o'clock tonight. And then during the day tomorrow, the forecast is for a tropical storm of 60 miles per hour. Let me drag this down just a little bit so you can see how far north of the islands Kiko will be. This is the 36-hour forecast at 8 p.m. Tomorrow. So this is 8 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. It'll be early in the morning on September 10th on the East Coast. But this is where the wind field would get drastically smaller. But between here and there, it is generating swells, and those swells will be headed towards the island. So the surfers are all very happy about that. The swimmers, please make sure you do not swim in areas that are unguarded. You need to have a lifeguard nearby because we're going to have lots of rip currents along the northeastern facing beaches on all of the islands here. So be very, very careful. Just maybe take some pictures. Okay, so let's dive in a little bit. I've gone into Pac Ayus here. This is their system called Voyager. And I'm going to move around the Hawaiian Islands a little bit just to give you a look at the wave action and what's happening. Okay, this is right off the coast of Hilo, and you can see the waves that are coming in here. Now, this is pretty much live that we can see these. And here's the graph here. You can see just earlier today, wave height off of Hilo reached almost 6 feet and then really dropped down here. And right about now, it looks like waves are anywhere from 4.5 to 5 feet. So this is a wave buoy that's right off of Hilo. You can see that right there. And I will close that. Let's go up the coast a little bit, up the island chain. So here we go, right here. This is a Pac Ayus, a wave buoy. This is in Pauela, Maui. And you can see how the waves have... Oh, let me bring this down just a little bit so you can see it. There we go. There are the waves. And so it looks here like during the afternoon today, the waves were going up to 4 feet, just about 4 feet. So these are going to build, especially during times of high tide. These swells will build up and down for the next 3 days as Kiko gets on out of here. But this is a great application. If you're in Hawaii, just look up Pac Ayus, P-A-C-I-O-O-S, and look for a Voyager. I'll put the link in the chat for this. It's really great. You can use it if you're a surfer as well. So here's another one. I'll move this right on down here so we can see this one. Here is this one. This is a wave buoy right at Waimea Bay. So I'll bring this down just a little bit so you can see those waves. And look at that. So 2.8, almost 2.8 feet. So they're pretty big waves, between 2.6 and 2.8 feet. These are going to be increasing as well as Kiko gets to the north of the island, and that'll happen during the day tomorrow into Wednesday morning. Okay, one more buoy I want to check, and that's over here at Pearl Harbor. This is near Honolulu, and you can see what the wave heights are doing here. Just a short time ago, it looks like waves were up there about 3.5, 3.6 feet. Gone down a little bit, but you can see the trend is going up as well. These wave heights will be elevated a little bit. They are on the opposite side of the island where Kiko is, but we do get wave action that can bend around the islands, that's for sure. But I don't expect anything very huge coming in to Honolulu and Waikiki. As a matter of fact, why don't we go over and take a look at what's happening live in Waikiki, and I'll insert the satellite image there. Okay, so what we're looking at is Waikiki Beach right here. It's from the Waikiki Sheraton. This is an iUse camera, a PAC iUse camera. We call it WebCoos because we're putting in cameras around the country in coastal environments, even the Great Lakes, so you can get a better idea as to what's happening, whether there are rip currents out there, whether it's dangerous, or just a beautiful day. You'll be able to access these cameras online. So you can see in the satellite inset, there is Hawaii right here where I'm pointing. Here is Honolulu right at the tip of the finger there. That is where this image is coming live. So you can see the clouds have not even reached Honolulu here or the island of Oahu. It's really just moving into the Big Island, and they're not very consequential clouds, but once they hit the mountains, they could rise up and give a few showers as Kiko spins around. But this is a really unique perspective because right at the tip of the finger is right where this camera is looking down at Waikiki Beach. You can see the waves coming in, just a beautiful day there. Lots of swimmers having a great time. Okay, one last thing I want to show you is the FAA camera on the Big Island of Hawaii because it's not going to be too incredibly exciting, but you can see this outflow boundary here from the hurricane. That is, it could have some gusty winds with it, could have a couple of showers, but remember what I said, there's a lot of dry air right in here and it's fighting against these clouds. So they might just be cool looking cirrus clouds and a few cumulus clouds that are coming ashore. But the camera is right at the tip of the finger right here. And let's go over and take a look at that. Okay, so here's the FAA camera network, and what I'm going to do, I showed you this yesterday, and it's pretty cool. You can see the images at the bottom, and as I change the direction of the camera, you can see those images at the bottom change as well. Okay, so if we look to the southwest, that's what we see, the camera on the right-hand side, this one over here. And if I move it over here, see the arrows change as I go over the camera. So this is the one that we want to see. We want to see the latest image here. So I'm going to click on that. So I click on this arrow and the camera shows up here. So if I click on this full screen, now we can see we have some overcast skies. Now, here's the other thing that we can do here. So I'll start it right here and I'll just click through it. There's one. Here comes some more clouds in. Now, these could be clouds that are from Kiko that we saw in the satellite image that were just coming in to the eastern edge of the Big Island of Hawaii. That's kind of cool. We can match ground observations with satellite observations, just like we like to do with ocean observations, and match those with dropsons that the airplanes drop, so we can calibrate and validate all those sensors, make sure we're getting accurate data from all these different sensors. Now, as we finish up here, I did want to give you the statistics on Hurricane Kiko. This was as of the 11 o'clock Hawaii Standard Time update. There's another one coming in about an hour and 15 minutes. But as of 11 a.m., the reconnaissance aircraft from the 53rd Weather Squadron, they're the hurricane hunters from the U.S. Air Force. Kiko did remain a Category 1 hurricane, and it's forecast to pass north of the Hawaiian Islands later this week, bringing surf and rip current impacts to portions of the islands. So please keep an eye out for that. Be very, very careful. Located 21.0 north, 149.9 west, 350 miles east-northeast of Hilo, Hawaii. Category 1, 85-mile-per-hour hurricane. And there's the next advisory, 5 o'clock p.m. So this may be the final update on Hurricane Kiko as it passes off to the east of the islands, but it does not go unnoticed. If anything happens or we see anything developing, we may be back tomorrow with another update. Large swells are providing surfers with a bonus week on the eastern and northeastern facing beaches, and the danger still exists for those rip currents. And those rip currents indeed could be life-threatening. I'll say this more than once. Do not go swimming without a lifeguard on duty. There are no coastal watches or warnings in effect. However, once you get off the shoreline into the ocean, tropical storm warnings have been issued around the entire island chain because of Kiko. So the seas could get very, very dangerous very quickly. So Kiko is forecast to pass north of the Hawaiian Islands on Tuesday and Wednesday, while the risk of direct impacts on the islands is decreasing. Interests in Hawaii should continue to monitor Kiko's progress. Somebody sent me a note today on the YouTube channel chat. Never trust a hurricane. I can't agree with you more about that. So that's why we want to continue to monitor Kiko until it is gone and just a low-level swirl well to the north of the islands. Speaking of swells, they will be generated by Kiko, and they are expected to gradually build and are forecast to peak along the east-facing exposures of the Hawaiian Islands late today through the middle of the week, potentially producing life-threatening surf and rip currents. So please listen to the latest updates and potential high surf warnings issued from the National Weather Service in Honolulu, Hawaii. Please listen to those warnings. The National Weather Service issues the authoritative watches and warnings. Nobody else can issue those but the Weather Service. That's why we communicate what they're issuing as fast as we can so you get that message. Also, if you've ever heard of a NOAA weather radio, you should have one. If you've never heard of a NOAA weather radio, consider this the time that you heard of a NOAA weather radio. And as a matter of fact, I have one right here. This is an example of a hand crank NOAA weather radio. It has a battery. You can pull the antenna up. You can press the band and it'll find the weather band. And if it runs out of battery, look at this. This is pretty cool. You can take out a crank and you can pull the handle out and charge the battery. It also has a solar charger right here and a flashlight. See, it's got the flashlight right here. So that's a very good thing to have. NOAA weather radio. You'll get all the watches, warnings, and advisories that the Weather Service issues, and it's a great thing to have. Makes a great Christmas present too. I don't sell them, but it's a good place to go get them. Midland Radio is one of the manufacturers. So that's it. Thanks so much for watching this update. I really appreciate it. We did a little bit of a test earlier with a live stream. I wasn't getting the audio to work, so we'll work on that and see if we can get it to work, because there are cases where we may go live coming up with any hurricanes or tropical activity. And I really do appreciate all your comments, your feedback, your positive words, and all the mahalos. So aloha and mahalo for you in Hawaii. I'm glad that you can use this update. If you feel so inclined, please subscribe to the channel and also send it to your friends and your relatives if you think it could help them along the way. We do updates throughout the United States for tropical weather, also for severe weather and impactful weather. We don't chase tornadoes, but we do talk about the impacts that any big severe weather outbreak could have. So thanks so much for watching. I'm Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate. This has been an update for the All Hazards Consortium, the sensitive information sharing environment, and you. Please watch out for yourself and watch out for your neighbors. They really do appreciate it. Take care. We'll see you later.